Hi, I'm Miro. I'm a TNT champion.
This is Rachel Ellerine, the queen of Strong Smile.
I'm Eric Bischoff.
Live events, all right? When the WWE comes on the holiday tour, when they come to Ireland.
Or Davy Boy without hair braids.
As a fan with braids, as a dog without braids.
And you
are watching
WrestleSlam.
WrestleSlam.
And you're watching WrestleSlam.
Okay, guys, we're joined by wrestling sensation Ace Austin. Ace, first of all, you had a great, epic win to be number one contender ahead of Victory Road. What's your take on Christian Cage? Look, we know he's iconic, but obviously it's going to be a great match.
Iconic? Absolutely. In such great shape right now. I mean, like, well done, especially at this age of his career, to be in the kind of shape, to be doing the kind of thing he's doing. It's all good and well, but I think what I have to do is stick to my guns, and the reason I've been successful so far is because I don't let anybody that stands across the ring from me outshine me. So doesn't matter who it is. This is the history that I set out to make. So it's whoever's taking it.
I love it. Now, speaking of becoming number one contender, you have to go through some big names: Moose, Chris Sabian, Sammy. Obviously, great guys that are sniffing for that Impact World title. But obviously, you came through. You looked impressive. Obviously, you were thrilled with that victory.
I think. I mean, it had to have been obvious, right? I was the obvious choice to win that match because look at the kind of experience I have in a match against so many big, guys. Slammiversary last year, it was a 5-way gauntlet for the world title, and it came down to me and Eddie Edwards at the end of it. So I know what it takes to stand the test of time against some of the most formidable people that Impact Wrestling has. So I think that I had the edge going into that match for sure. I'm going to be the youngest world champion in the history of Impact Wrestling, and nothing can stand in the way of that.
We agree. And we have to speak of your age. 24 years of age, right? And it's like you've been in this industry for 10 years. You made such a statement. Fans worldwide will talk about Ace Austin. People put up YouTube videos every day, dream matches, Ace Austin versus such and such and such. How impressed have you been with Impact? Look, it's one of the biggest organizations in the world, if not the biggest. It must be an honor to work with them.
Absolutely. And it was, I had I don't know how many people know, but I absolutely had a choice in the matter in 2018. And I want to make sure that people know that Impact didn't just pick me out of the bunch as an indie wrestler. I was doing really well for myself in 2018, and I had a choice about where I wanted to go and who I wanted to work with. And Impact showed me the most hospitality, and they showed me the best working environment that was out there. And that's why I chose to start with Impact Wrestling back then, because just I could not have thought of a better way to really lay a foundation for myself in this industry. And it's done nothing but boost up. People are getting to watch a very organic story right in front of their very eyes, like a story of a just a young, hungry, kid who wanted to be a pro wrestler, really fighting and earning it. There's no gimmicks about it. Nobody wrote this storyline that you're watching. You just are watching me organically take over the wrestling world.
Great. 100%. No, Impact fans are blessed. We have Impact Insiders, Impact Plus, YouTube, so much content, Ace. Why should fans subscribe and sign up to, Impact Insiders, Impact Plus, and check out all the YouTube content? Why is it so big?
I think as far as streaming apps go, at least for wrestling, I don't know if there's a better one than Impact Plus right now because you can try the other guys and it's going to be difficult to find what you're looking for. Impact Plus is great. Is for looking back. I know that before starting with Impact, I really didn't know as much as maybe I should have about Impact's history, but that's because where I grew up, Impact wasn't like, TNA Impact wasn't super popular. So I was really only exposed to WWE product as a kid. So I really have had to, especially since starting with the company, I've had to really go back and kind of just like learn where it all started and just like, it's unbelievable. I'm finding out even more every day about the kind of history, especially with Impact's hard. They say they're hard to kill because they've been so everlasting, and people don't realize how many big moments have really happened inside of the Impact Zone.
Yeah, no, agree. Now, Ace, Forbidden Door is a beautiful thing for the fans. It's a beautiful thing for a wrestler, right? And as I said earlier on, Ace Austin versus so many names. Jay White, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay was thrown out there. What's your take on all these matches and all these guys? Look, we start with Will Ospreay. Look, very similar styles, energetic, a dream match for all fans. Is that something that could possibly happen down the road?
I think that is something that will inevitably happen down the road. There's absolutely no doubt. I mean, there's so many matches that I think the fans deserve to see, and I think there are so many matches that like I personally would want to have, and I like to get what I want. So
love it. Now we won't take away the attention from Christian Cage just yet, because look, September 18th is going to be one of the biggest dates in your wrestling career. Early days, beautiful, but any guys that you look at right now, look, we look at All Elite Wrestling. We look at CM Punk, he's after coming in. We know Forbidden Door is pretty much open between Impact and All Elite and many organizations. But is Punk a guy you'd like to face and crush?
Punk, absolutely. I mean, how could I not? That's another one of those guys that really impacted my love for wrestling when I was younger. And I had T-shirts. I had T-shirts of like so many of these guys that I get to not only step in the ring with, but share locker rooms with. And I think that's huge. So definitely. I mean, I don't know how many matches he's gonna, have. He's probably gonna have a select few big matches, and one can only hope.
Ace Austin has to be in that bracket of names. Surely he's looking at them names. He's like, Ace Austin. Yes, I want some of that. Now, look, we have to speak. Obviously, look, fans are coming back. It's been a crazy 2 years, not just, in America, all over the world. It's been a really traumatizing time for fans because they can't attend events. Fans are coming back. We're almost back to full capacities, almost all over the world. How important is that, Ace, that, your fans get to see you in the flesh do your thing?
Ridiculously important. I don't think that anybody really could have ever wrestling in front of no fans used to be a gimmick match. Used to be a type of match that you would have, right? An empty arena match. It used to be like a stipulation, and it became a reality for all of us, and it was super uncomfortable. It's really a lot more difficult to just do that without anybody looking on. I mean, it's a performance after all. So, no matter what you're competing for, if you are not a showman of some kind, then you are not going to thrive in a professional wrestling ring. You got to be able to please the people. Man, I think we all just really gritted our teeth and just got through it because we love wrestling and we wanted it to stay alive. But it's just, I know for me personally, I kind of just like, I treated it just like that. Like, I love wrestling. It's my job and I can still do it no matter what. And so I went into every match just with that mindset. Like, it's my job. I can do it no matter what. And then Slammiversary last year, when I remember it, when I took the fall from the top rope, me and Eddie Edwards fell from the top rope through a table on the outside. And I remember falling through that table and laying there and hearing nothing. And I was just like exhausted. I was like, this is like, oh, how much longer do we have to do this? So having fans like back in the impact zone, especially, has just, it's really revived the whole locker room. I mean, all of us have been working so hard to just like make our product the best. When the fans came back in, we all just like, it got so excited that everybody was so on. I just have never seen us all have such good performances back to back to back to back as we have in these last few months. I mean, fans, I've been wrestling in front of some fans throughout, on the indies for a while, but it's really not the same as a crowd who can comfortably have a good time.
Agree. I'm going to pass you to my core colleague, Jor. I'll be back in with a question at the end, but Jor, fire away, my man.
Hi, yes, how are you? I just wanted to ask about the Wild Samoans, the training schedule they put you through when you first started out training with them. I know you were pretty young at the time. Were they hard on you? Was it a tough time?
They were very hard on me, especially because they're a very family oriented family, right? Yeah. So like they always trained them young. So me coming in as soon as I turned 17 to get trained, I think that they were really well suited to put the right amount of pressure on me, because I feel like if I would have started somewhere else, maybe they would have taken it easy on me because I was young, and that wouldn't have done me any justice. So I think that the Samoans, being who they are and training their own as kids to get in the ring, I think that they were really like well prepared to put me through it the way they needed to, and they knew when I showed them how bad I wanted it, they made me earn it, and there's no better way to learn how to be a pro wrestler to learn how to earn it, because you just can't survive any other way.
And were you doing parkour at the time when you started with them? Obviously they weren't high flyers, so they weren't teaching how to jump off the ropes or anything, were they?
No, they certainly weren't. They taught a very good fundamentals, very good foundation. All of the extra, fancy stuff I learned didn't come from Samoans. That's not what they, are about. They're really about the fundamentals of this industry and learning how to, respect the ring before you're allowed to step in it. And all that was very, very important. I was practicing parkour and doing skateboarding and all kinds of stuff like that well before wrestling. Those were my hobbies before I found a way to get into wrestling. And then when I did, it just took all my time. Everything I've ever done in my life, I've treated as temporary, because I knew that wrestling was the only thing I was ever focused on. So as soon as I was able to get there, I threw everything else to the back burner, and I just pedaled to the metal on wrestling, and it was exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah, and you talked previously about going to see Jeff Hardy live and getting to meet him in person, and getting the rest. You're getting the rest of somebody like Christian now, who had that big historic feud with Jeff Hardy and the Hardy Boys and Edge. It must be surreal, like when you're that young, meeting someone like that and who maybe inspired your style sort of, and now you're getting to wrestle someone who was around when Jeff Hardy was on that style.
Absolutely surreal. The best, the only way to learn is to surround yourself with people who are better than you. So, I mean, all of those people that inspired us to be performers in the first place are the ones that will hold the lessons that we're gonna, pay attention to the most. Who better to teach you a lesson? Who are you gonna listen to more closely, right? The people you look up to, or just somebody who's supposed to tell you what to do, right?
Yeah. And one last thing, it is inspiration as well. You're going as the inevitable now. Did Thanos inspire that, or is that something that you've just inevitably you're going to be champion someday?
I mean, superheroes are one of the biggest reasons, or were one of my biggest influences as a kid. completely. Like I love superheroes so much, and when I wanted to become a wrestler, those two things really just like were the two things I loved most, were wrestling and superheroes. So like there's a hint of, I think superheroes tell the best story. So I think there's a hint of superhero in everything that I do. And it was kind of accidental at first. Like the Gambit reference was really not my original intention, but it became such a good, like, thing to run with that I clung to that. And it's really easy to perform at your best when you're doing, these things that you love. So the inevitable thing came out of a little bit of both. It wasn't just like, I didn't hear Thanos say it and then think I'm going to say that now. The inevitable thing was born out of my loss at Slammiversary. Like when I didn't become world champion last year, I was devastated. But the only way that I could bring myself back, to my feet after that was this idea that, like, it didn't happen then, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. So, like, what's the definition of something that is going to happen at some point? Inevitably. So it just made sense.
Perfect.
So, Ace, we have to speak. All your Irish, UK fans, European fans, look, we're edging closer to perhaps maybe an announcement next year where Impact come to Europe, Ireland, UK. Like, what's your thoughts on all the Irish and UK fans? Because, look, Ace, they can't wait to see you and meet you.
I think that, I don't know if I've only been able to go to the UK once, and I went over there for some indie wrestling, and it was an amazing time. I can only imagine. We have such strong support from the UK, the European fan base, that I feel like those shows are going to be like something really, really special to be a part of. When we're able to go there next, I just really hope that I get to be a part of that, because like the support, especially on social media, is like the support is unbelievable from that fan base. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
We can't wait. It's I think I ask Simon every day, look, when's Impact coming? But it's going to be soon, hopefully. We had a fan called Noel. He wanted to know, who's your potential dream match? And we always say, look, every match with Ace Austin's a dream match. But anyone that you ever looked at and said to yourself, right, look, they're still in the business. It might be Christian Cage, but it could be someone else. But anyone in the business that you'd like to really wrestle and have that, 5-star match with?
It's got to be Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy should be top of the list, I think. Hopefully that'll happen someday. Rob Van Dam's definitely up there on the list. I can't believe that him and I never had a match when he was back with Impact. It never lined up that way, unfortunately, but that's another huge one for sure. John Morrison.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's another one. As far as Impact guys right now, definitely Rich Swann. Rich Swann is probably one of my favorite opponents just in general. One of my favorite people to share a ring with. And we have yet to mix it up on Impact television. So the Impact fan base has yet to be exposed to the kind of magic that him and I can create.
Absolutely love it. Ace, it's a true honor as always, my friend. We're looking forward to the matches ahead. We will see you in Europe soon. When you're in Ireland, we're going to look after you. We might take you for a Guinness or a Murphy's if you drink alcohol.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ace.